morning again, guys. Good to be with you. Man, I love what we're about to do together. This is one of my favorite things, to spend a week with students just opening up God's Word together and seeing what He has for us. But I especially love that I get to be in Ephesians. It is one of my favorite books, if not my favorite book in the Bible. And so I'm so excited to see what the Lord has for us as we dive into this together. But before we get started, I want to do something a little bit different. I don't normally start weeks off like this, and I know we just met each other. You don't know me all that well. I don't know you all that well. But I want to ask you to do something. I want to ask you to just be real with me for a second. Maybe more specifically, I want to ask you to get real with yourself for just a moment as I ask you this question, and I want you to reflect on this. As we move into this week together, where are you at right now with Jesus? Let me put it this way. If we were to put on the screen a circle back here that marks Jesus, see if we've got that. Maybe, possibly, maybe not. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we'll just pretend that there's a circle up there. And if it pops up, you can just point and say it's there and we'll know, okay? So if I were to put a circle on the screen behind me marking Jesus and who He is and where He is, and then I asked you to place your own little mark on that screen to define where you are. Like if somewhere on this wall I asked you, if there's a big circle and Jesus is on there, and I ask you to put an X to mark you where you are, how close you are to Him. Hey, it worked right there, sweet. To put a mark there, and I asked you to mark where are you in relation with Him based on, say, the last 3 months of your life. Where would you place yourself on that screen? For some of you, the answer is probably easy. For some of you, it would be no problem, and you would put that X right there next to the circle with Jesus, because the truth is for you, things have been well. You feel close to Jesus right now. You love Him. You have worked hard to obey Him. You're not perfect, but you're growing. And over the last few months, you found yourself regularly engaging with His Word and praying. And so it's a no-brainer. You are tight with Jesus, and you put your X right there next to that circle. And if so, I'm so glad. But I know that there's a number of you in this room that would not be the case. But maybe you would say, Drew, if I got to put an X on there, it's going to be in the furthest possible corner away from those things. Maybe you would say, my X, if I'm honest, is not even on the screen. Like, I'm not even a Christian. I don't even know Jesus. I don't even know if I want to know Jesus. Or maybe you say to yourself, yeah, I mean, I'm a Christian. I gave my life to Him, but based on the last 2 or 3 months, if you were to look at my life, you wouldn't know it. And I've done some things that I really regret, and I come into this week, and I just feel so distant from Him, so cut off from Him. I almost didn't even come because I just felt so guilty. Maybe that's you this week. For a lot of you, probably it's somewhere in between. That maybe you would put your X maybe like right there where that is, or maybe a little closer, somewhere in the middle. Yes, you know Jesus. Yes, you're a follower of His, but it's been a struggle a little bit recently. And you're trying, and it's not all bad, but you're not quite where you want to be. If you're honest, like you don't even feel like praying very often. You open up God's Word to read it, and it just feels dry and lifeless, and you hate that, but it's just where you are. So where would you put your X on that screen? Hold on to that thought for just a second. We'll come back to it. A few years ago, I was walking through the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. I had a connecting flight there. I was actually on my way to do a move, a CIY move somewhere in, I think, Tennessee. And I'm in the DFW airport there, and I'm walking through. And you need to know, one of my favorite things to do, it's kind of a random thing I love. I love walking through airports, listening to like a playlist that I've put together, like one of my favorite playlists. There's something about airports, the energy of the place. There's just this constant movement back and forth, left and right, and there's machines, escalators, and trains, and little trams moving all through the place, and lights and signs that are moving back and forth. And I love the energy of airports, and I love putting like a playlist on that kind of matches the vibe, matches the energy of the airport, and just walking and kind of people watching as I do that. I could just walk laps around airports listening to cool music. And so on this specific day, I've done that. I've stepped off of my flight. I'm making my way through the airport. I put my earbuds in and I'm walking. And as I do, I'm looking around, kind of taking everything in. And I can see up in front of me this big throng of people moving left and right and back and forth and all of these things, just like usual. And then I notice probably 70, 80 feet out in front of me, in the midst of all of these people going left and right and back and forth, that there's one person who's not. One person standing completely still. And what kind of grabs my attention is these two things. First of all, he's not standing still like over on the side on a wall or over in one of the gates waiting for his flight. He's like right smack dab in the middle of this big crowd moving. And the other thing I notice is he's not looking down at his phone or rummaging through his bag or something, looking for something. He's standing there and he's looking straight up. He's actually looking people in the eye as they walk past him. At least those that he can. People are trying to avoid eye contact, and he's actually saying something to them. I can't hear what it is. I can't see what it is from this